This is the road to 2019. The headlines this week have justifiably been dominated by a couple of outrageous attacks and their aftermath. The incidents in Unnao, the incidents at Katwa, shocked the conscience of the nation. And I'm glad to see that everyone seems to be speaking up about it, raising a ruckus, because that's not the way politics should go. It's really crazy if politicians of any sort or shape are trying to hide people or shelter people who would be responsible for attacks like this. And that's why that's really been dominating the headlines, which is great. And I'll have more to say on that a little later in the program. But today on the road to 2019, we're going to take a look at another development that happened this week, and perhaps something that may have some significance on the road to 2019. There has been obviously simmering questions between the North and the South for a long period of time. It's nothing new. It keeps happening, it flares up and then it goes away. This week, some southern states came together and said there's something discriminatory that is happening towards them, and they came together to try and say that the Finance Commission and others need to act on this. You immediately had both the Finance Minister coming out with this tweet, and then the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, coming out also with this tweet and assuring the southern states that their interests would be looked after. Is this going to become a factor at all? That's what we're going to try and address in 2019. I'll tell you why it's important and why it's interesting. There are 132 total Lok Sabha seats in South India. BJP has 23 of them, almost all of them obviously from Karnataka. So Andhra Pradesh, TDP 15, BJP 2, YSR Cong 8. This is just the tally in the south. TRS 11 in Telangana, BJP 2 there, TDP 2 there, Congress 2 there. Karnataka is where the BJP has got 17 seats. Kerala, it's UDF and LDF. Tamil Nadu, it's almost entirely the AIADMK right now. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the BJP has one, and Lakshadweep is NCP, Pondicherry is AINRC. So that's roughly the way the south is stacking up. Is that the way it's going to stack up in 2019? Well, that's an interesting question. In some way, is southern identity going to be a factor? The concept that is the South being discriminated against, punished, for example, for its success in population control. Is that going to happen? Those are some of the questions we're going to turn our attention to. We are being joined by Thomas Isaac, the Finance Minister of Kerala, one of the people crucial in bringing that particular grouping together. Gaurav Vallabh is with us, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Professor Abhijit Sen is with us, economist, of course, one of our best-known economists, also former member of the Planning Commission. Mr. Narayan Tirupati is with us, spokesperson of the Tamil Nadu BJP, and Manraj is joining us as well from the DMK. Thank you all so much for being with us. I am just going to try and get your sense of whether the southern conclave or efforts to try and bring together southern states, is that going to be a factor or not in 2019? Let me just try and get each of you to weigh in on that. Then I'll go to Mr. Isaac in general. Mr. Tirupati, do you think this is going to be an issue? Southern states coming together, saying that the center is discriminating against us?
See, all these things which have been, in the rounds for the last 2-3 weeks are misread, misplaced and misunderstood facts. And the Telangana Chief Minister, who did not participate, very clearly said that this is against the national integration and national interest. And Tamil Nadu did not participate, as said by the former Chief Minister Jayalalitha when she was in 2016. Very clearly stated that the special status to Andhra should not be given, as it is against the interest of Tamil Nadu. So the devolution does not happen by dividing north and south and all those things. It is on performance, and also the 15th Commission is slated to recommend so many things, which is inclusive of 1971 census, 2011 census, which was also done, taken as a 10% weightage during 14th Commission. So all these facts are not taken, and
Okay, so
I think this is due to Karnataka elections. These people are trying to, do something. That's all. I don't think this will be a big factor.
All right, I'm going to get Mr. Manraj, who's sitting next to you, spokesperson of the DMK. But before I do that, let me just tell you why all of these issues are coming up. Take a look at the different. Let's take some northern states like UP, Bihar, that the typical northern belt, and you take the south states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, there's obviously been very differential success rates and things like population, which is why those northern states, let's say the gap was 46 million in 71, it's 200 million right now. If you look at those specific states, let's say Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, for example, now, they could argue that they are contributing something like 42,400 crore rupees in direct taxes, getting 22,000 back in direct central spending. If you look at those northern states, UP, Bihar, MP, Rajasthan, contributing 15,560, receiving 50,700 crores. That's where that question of discrepancy starts to perhaps become a factor. Mr. Murugam, Mr. Manuraj, did I sum that up correctly? Is that really what the southern states are angry about?
That's more or less one aspect of it. The long-standing discontent felt by the southern states have dominated the political scenario for almost 50 years. But perhaps for the first time since the constitution of the 15th Finance Commission, we've had also a huge economic impetus to oppose the federal, the government and in the center. Specifically, there are some terms of the 15th Finance Commission which seem to be extremely prejudicial to the economic interests of the 4 or 5 southern states now. And if you look at it, a state like Tamil Nadu stands to lose around 10,000 crores estimated by the Center for Socio-Economic and Environmental Studies over the course of the next 5 years. But beyond that, there is a huge political question as well. And I think that's important. With these 4 or 5 states, and if you include Pondicherry, there is no BJP presence in government at the moment. And I think that's a huge challenge for the BJP, and these states know that. And they've been dominated by regional politics, of course, except for Kerala and Karnataka. And I think that's a huge sort of final frontier for the BJP, and I think that will that is why
we'll see how that factor plays out. But I just want to go to Professor Abhijit Sen and get what is this entire issue that we are hearing so much about? Professor Sen, we are hearing now we are seeing the finance minister and the prime minister coming out tweeting about it, saying that nothing discriminatory is being done to southern states. What is your, as an expert in the field, what is your interpretation of what's happening? Are southern states being penalized for being successful in population control? Arun Jaitley says we're not going to allow that, we're going to have special incentives. Is that good enough?
Look here, I think the point is I am not an expert in trying to guess what is going to happen in southern states. I was a member of the 14th Finance Commission, and I know how finance commissions would treat matters which come up to them. And I think it is true that the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission are very different from terms of reference of earlier finance commissions. For a start, almost all the previous TORs used to be very even-handed. It said the center problem this, the state's problem this. It didn't actually tell the Finance Commission to actually do this or do that. And when it comes to the point that you're talking about, which is the population weightage, which is always a weightage, it's in fact much larger than what appears in this because there's other things which come into it. That has been given since the time when in the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution, when the state seats in Parliament were decided. And this was updated with the 84th Amendment that the 71 would continue. And I think a lot of people felt that the Finance Commission and and the seats in Parliament should bear a resemblance. We in the 14th Finance Commission grabbed an opportunity saying that look at changes to give 10% to the 2011. We did it. We were not told to do it. I think really my concern is that the present terms of reference almost seem to look as if the center is telling the Finance Commission to do certain things. And if the finance minister or even the prime minister comes along and says, no, we'll get the finance commission to look at other things as well, it somehow wears down the importance of a constitutional body like the finance commission. The finance commission
Narayanan, would
should
you
be
agree
left
with that criticism?
to make its own decisions.
Mr. Narayanan, would you like to respond to that criticism?
No, see, though I was not able to, follow what he was saying, the thing is that, because my audio was not clear, the thing is that in the last time, in the 14th Finance Commission, the 1971 population was taken, it was 17.5%, where it was, in 13th Commission, it was 25%. And then, the fiscal capacity income distance, it has been 50%. And all these, this devolution formula, not only based only on this population, it depends on forest cover also. Now we have added this forest cover also. So many things are there. So this 15th Finance Commission will definitely, and if you take population compared to Kerala or Karnataka, Tamil Nadu will benefit more, because as per 2011, the population percentage is more compared to, percentage. It has grown more. But the population control has not happened in the
But that's actually
decades.
perhaps the point, seeing as we are trying to control population, and that's been one of the objectives, to be rewarding a state for not being able to control population.
I will tell you.
So I'll tell you what the finance minister, can I just, this is what the Prime Minister said. This is what the Prime Minister said. Prime Minister tweeted just yesterday. Prime Minister tweeted saying, the Union government has suggested to the Finance Commission to consider incentivizing states who have worked on population control. Thus, a state like Tamil Nadu, to take your point, which has devoted a lot of effort, energy and resources towards population control, would certainly benefit. That's what the Prime Minister said, to which Thomas Isaac, the Finance Minister of Kerala, immediately tweeted back saying, we appreciate that response of the Prime Minister, but it's totally inadequate and will not compensate. Thomas Isaac now joining us. He's the Finance Minister of Kerala. So, Mr. Isaac, why are southern states sounding unhappy right now, and why did you convene this particular conclave?
I promise you, not just the southern states, there will be more states that will be joining us. Now, it started with the southern states because there was an immediate provocation of shifting of the population base year from 1971 to 2011. Now, this was a promise made to us and all states in India that those states will comply with the national population policy and bring the fertility rate down. They won't be penalized for this success in the devolution of funds. And therefore, as a result of the resolution in the NDC, decision of the NDC, resolution passed in the Parliament, 1971 was made the basis for all calculation of devolution of funds. Now shifting to 2011, the southern states together will lose something like 80,000 crores of rupees, assuming the same formula as in 2000 and the 14th Finance Commission. So now that was the immediate provocation.
Sir, but if I could just ask you, now what you're saying, these are all the issues you've been talking about. Arun Jaitley has written an entire blog this week saying that the fears that are being whipped up are entirely imaginary, and that the Finance Commission terms of reference are not discriminatory, and that incentives will be given to counter all that you're just saying. That's what the Finance Minister said.
Well, I don't want to debate the intentions of the Union Finance Minister, but the terms of reference are there for everyone to see. It has shifted the base year. That's a fact. 2, it has asked the FC to review the decision of the 14th Finance Commission that raised the tax devolution share from 32% to 42%. It has asked the FC to reconsider if there is any need for revenue deficit grant.
Okay.
It has reminded the FC of the grave consequence of the central finance because of the GST. All put together is in fact prompting the FC to reduce
Can
the
I-
tax share of the states.
Okay,
This
can I just-
can see? 3. So many central programs are now put forward as programs which have to be
Right.
incentivized
So
through
if
the
I can-
finance committee.
Okay, if I could just ask you, in your any efforts to get southern states together, Telangana didn't even show up for this. So, are you in a little concern that are you really going to be able to get the unity that you're wanting for it?
Well, when I approached all the states, they were positive. But in the last minute, of course, I must admit, Telangana never formally communicated to us that they would be attending. But Tamil Nadu did communicate formally that they would attend. Palaniveswaran would come, and I had a number of times talked to the minister.
So neither
who is to
Telangana
attend, the
came nor
GST
Tamil Nadu
Council
came at the end
Jaguar.
of the day.
They
So-
dropped out. I don't know what prompted to do that. Well, that's why we have decided, all right, we are going to approach the other states also when we meet in Vizag.
Okay. Let me just get, I'm going to now turn to the politics of all of this. But before I do that, Abhijit, let me just get one last word from you on the economics of this. Is this, at the end of the day, state-center relations, the financial, is it the sort of a thing which eventually is worked out as a compromise by the Finance Commission? Is this, I'm trying to figure out whether this is a storm in a teacup or whether this is something which has the potential to escalate a lot.
No.
Professor Abhijit, let me just ask you first and I'll come to you, Gaurav.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the point is that the Finance Commission is a unique body, which is a constitutional body which doesn't last all the time. It just sits for 2 years. It's supposed to hear the states and the center and make up its mind about a report on which finance commissions have differed over time, but it should do it on its own. And its basic terms of reference are the constitutional things, which is in the terms of reference 1. I think this particular Finance Commission has been given so many terms of references, it's made its life difficult, and I think it will end up being one of the most criticized Finance Commissions ever, because people will attribute all sorts of motives where nothing should have been done. The Finance Commission
Well, the
should have
Finance
been allowed
Commission, it
on
is
the
headed
basis
by a man
of a
of, it
standard
is
set
headed
of
by a
terms
man of a lot of
reference.
integrity, and so hopefully he will be able to stand up to pressures at the end of the day, no matter what happens. So let's see what they finally come up with.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. In fact, I think really what this calls for is a statement by government that the Finance Commission, irrespective of the terms of reference, should make up its mind on everything.
All right. Let me just shift the focus now from what this row is all about to the question that we always try and address on the road to 2019. How is it going to affect the elections? That's the one-point agenda on which we're going to keep going ahead for one entire year on this particular program. So let me turn to that attention. Gaurav Vallabh, this entire row that is happening, okay, I said that the BJP is not really a player in much of the South. You're a player in 2 states, Karnataka and Kerala. Do you see this entire issue becoming a major issue, or is it not? I mean, Kaveri and the fact that IPL games have been moved out of Chennai, that's going to become a much bigger issue in the South than southern states getting together and fighting about the Finance Commission.
No, Vikram, this is not only about South states. I had done a research on this. It is going to affect some other states also, and I will name those states also. Please try to understand, the Finance Commission is used for the political motives, and I will give you the reason for that. See, we are having 2 devolutions, vertical and horizontal. Vertical means states and center. The first time the term of reference is saying that we are not going to give 1.9 lakh crore of revenue deficit grant. Second, they are saying we are going to review that so-called 32 to 42% devolution. What they are trying to do, that states should become only an implementation machinery of the centrally sponsored schemes. The general purpose allocations to the states are curtailing down. And just for the information of our viewers, that states are implementing, from the finance perspective, 60% of the schemes are implementing via states, and they get only 38%. So from where they are going to get the money?
We've spent some time discussing this. I'm still trying to figure out the political import of all of this.
I'm coming to that. now this is about vertical devolution. Now coming to horizontal devolution, for which we are discussing that how it is going to be distributed amongst the states. See, they are saying that there are 11 states whose I can say the fertility rate above the replacement rate of 2.1.
So I get all the issues. I get the issues we've been discussing.
Out of those 11 states, the 4 are northeast states, 2 are about to reach 2.1. The rest remaining 4 are Bihar, UP, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. And other states whose fertility rates are reducing are states like AP, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, West Bengal and Odisha also.
So that's those states will get hit, including Orissa, you are
West
saying.
Bengal also, Odisha also, Punjab also.
And Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and others tend to benefit. So this is having a
pure political intention, a political motivation where the BJP is hostile. So they are changing the criteria from that perspective.
Okay.
So why you are changing? Only those states are affected where either you are not in power or you are not thinking or actually, you are not getting any message to be in power.
The BJP is actually, to be completely fair, the BJP is actually in power in 21 states.
That's
right
okay,
now. Most of the country.
But
most of the country.
Most of the states, 90% of states which are going to have adverse impact because of this changed TOR are non-BJP.
Okay. Mr. Narayan Tirupati, let me come to you. Let me just step aside a little bit from the minutiae of the Finance Commission. Look, we know what the terms of reference are. I would urge all viewers who want to understand this more to open the documents. I'm trying to figure this out now from a purely political point of view. Let me just shift the focus a little bit. And before I come to you, in fact, Narayan, let me just go to Manuraj. Manuraj, is this the sort of an issue that will resonate in states like Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh, or at the end of the day, you know, you're there in Chennai, are most people in Chennai more concerned about the fact that what's happening with Kaveri, what happened with the IPL, why is CSK been moved out of Chennai, what's going to happen to the matches? Are those the sort of issues that are really what affects more people? The entire concept of whether the Finance Commission is fair or not may not be a very major political weapon. That's what I'm trying to understand. Is it a political issue or is it not?
Well, it will be a cumulative effect of all these various factors, not just the betrayal of the interests of Tamil Nadu by the centre in setting up the Kaveri Management Board. That's on one hand, but there's also a huge protest against the imposition of Hindi, the imposition of a certain kind of food habits, imposition of a certain religion on all the other minority religions in the country, which Tamil Nadu has been consistently resisting. So it will definitely be one of the major factors. What the 15th Finance Commission does is it provides a huge economic angle as well to the already sort of burgeoning political argument, and the political argument against the BJP is the strongest in the southern states. And if you remember last year in the month of June, around 10 leaders from the 10 major parties in India came together in Chennai for a major political meeting. And after that, in the southern ministers' conclave, which happened this week, is the first time we've seen another group of, say, about 4 or 5 major party leaders come together. And we are certain that this group will continue to get bigger as more and more people jump on this economic bandwagon. But most importantly, I think what this does is,
what Manuraj is saying, that there are specific issues that are all coming together against the BJP, the imposition of Hindi, you know, the banning of beef, food habits, and then the Finance Commission. Would you agree with that characterization, that a lot of this stuff coming together?
I will not. I differ from Manu, my friend Manu, because, you know, in Karnataka, what Congress is doing, trying to split the Hindu religion, Lingayat, making it as a religion, and what in Kerala, what communist is doing, they are trying to, you know, support the pseudo-secularists, and they are trying to support a minority community, appeasement, and so many things are there. Same way, this particular 15th Finance Commission is being politicized by Congress and communists. That is what I say. Suppose if BJP government is there in Karnataka, do you mean to say that BJP, the Karnataka finance minister would have gone there? No. So this is politics. For Karnataka's election, they are trying to do something. Number one. Number two is that the per capita income of Tamil Nadu is 1.45 lakhs, whereas in UP it is only 48,000. Why? Because 76% of people in UP, they are farmers. They depend on agriculture. And number two, the devolution doesn't come like that. the Mahatma Gandhi Rega, that Tamil Nadu comes first, and because the infrastructure development, ports are being highly developed, and more funds are being given only to the southern states. We need to say we have a lot of things to discuss. It cannot be discussed in 20 minutes. But
I agree with you. This is not the sort of a lot of the technicalities of this need to be discussed at greater levels.
Congress and the Communists and DMK, they are trying to divide this nation, and their first step is through the Karnataka election. That is what I can say.
Are you trying to divide the nation? I thought that's what you
I'm just asking him. He made a lot of comments. Is controlling population is a measure of good governance or not? Let me know from him.
Okay,
is population control is a good governance measure or not? If a state having a good population control, are you going to disincentivize that state?
Well, the Prime Minister has now come out and actually answered that to say we will incentivize.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming, Vikram. There is a difference between two things. One is your right. Second, we will incentivize you. Means this all depends on my discretion on that day. So, these are two different things, Vikram.
I'm almost far out of time. Professor Sen, would you eventually trust the Finance Commission to do the right thing, or do you think this is going to become a political hot potato?
I hope the Finance Commission does the right thing, but I think the terms of reference of this Finance Commission will weigh very heavily on it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us to try and shed light on this particular issue. Look, the southern states always really crucial. Those alliances, each of these states is going to count. So are these alliances going to build up what Manuraj was saying right now about anger about a couple of issues? Will it all coalesce in the next few months? Imposition of Hindi, what's happening with food habits, and then the Finance Commission? Perhaps it's still too early to make a definitive judgment on that. Karnataka elections will give us some sort of a hint, some sort of an indication as to whether that is moving forward in a particular direction or not. And then we'll have to see how all the alliances pan out, whether it's in Andhra or whether it is in Tamil Nadu. Either way, keep an eye on the South. The South, again, going to be a really important determinant for whatever happens in 2019. So we will revisit this subject again in a couple of months. And that's the road to 2019 this Friday night. We'll be back again next week, same time, 9:30 p.m. on Fridays, to try and understand who's ahead in the race for 2019.